Good evening. Welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Today we have on Zack from GOATWHORE. How are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Doing good. I'm doing good. We're talking about your new album, which is it doesn't roll off my tongue yet. It's actually "Angels Hung from the Arches of Heaven."
Yep.
Very cool title. Very cool artwork. I'm really digging the artwork too.
Yeah. Came out really good.
Who did the artwork for that?
A good friend of ours, Jordan Barlow. He used to live in New Orleans, and he's done the past 3 or 4 records, the covers for us. He's also done just assorted merch designs and posters and stuff. But a good friend of ours. He's done a lot of our tattoos as well. So just talented dude, and he's totally on the same page with us visually, and what we're trying to represent.
Yeah, because I mean, all your stuff is good, and I think it's important. If you're a metal band, you've got to have good artwork. You've got to have some cool stuff.
It's true.
I mean, especially if it's on your merch. Who's gonna wear something that's lame? You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. It's like you got to have the clothing brand down.
You do. You know what I mean? You're not gonna have the whole gang of Menudo on their faces. You want something cool. So
Exactly. Got to be aesthetically pleasing.
Awesome. So this new album, how long has it been in the making for you guys? Because the world of COVID's really changed a lot for people.
Yeah.
So like, how'd you guys approach that situation?
Man, so I guess we never really stopped writing from the previous record. So we had a lot of stuff that wasn't completely finished from the last record. So we kind of had a head start into writing for this one. So, it was a kind of gradual process through kind of in between tours for the Vengeful Ascension, us continuing to work on songs. And then we had kind of planned to take 2020 off anyway to really focus on solidifying a whole block of material. And then COVID hit. So we just kind of just kept stacking ideas and material up. So I think by the time we were pretty confident in going into the studio to record, we had about 18, 19 pretty much finished songs. So we picked the best 12 and went in, recorded all those.
Yeah.
And but just having the extra time and was kind of a unique thing. So lack of pressure, kind of no tours to really kind of expedite the writing process, so we really had a lot of time to sit back and try to make these songs the best they could be.
It shows. I mean, it really shows. I mean, it's another growth from you guys, this album, and it's important. I'm gonna say right there because the pressure's on. All these bands that have been COVID that are like, oh, I never have time. Everyone had time.
Yeah,
so right. You got to put out, and there's a lot of, and actually there's a lot of really good bands for each whatever genre you're talking about. A lot of people putting out some of their best work.
Yeah, totally, man. It was kind of a blessing in disguise, man. And you either use the time to your advantage and see a positive in it, or you just sit around. But a lot of bands definitely took the approach of working their asses off, and you can tell, man. It's the quality of material from a lot of different bands right now is really awesome. Good.
And like I said, this stacks up with all of them, and dare I say, you're probably your best work. People always love the first albums because they're close to their heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, this one is just so crushing in the production. It's so good. You know what I mean? You can't compare. I guess you can't compare, but it's so powerful. It really hits me like the first one hit me. So
excellent. It's good to hear.
Take it as that. So you actually have a video out too. What's the plan for promoting it? Like, because it is kind of weird with most of the things are open now, but touring is kind of weird still. Because I know there's a shortage of like venues and buses and stuff.
Yeah, I guess the bus thing, and there's a lot of bands just trying to fulfill, I guess, dates that were postponed and canceled from
20, 2021, 22 is like 3 or 4
so it's kind of like a backlog. And then even like when it comes to labels releasing stuff, their release schedule has been kind of crazy. But so far, just being back on the road, we just did like 76 shows in the US alone since May. And
wow,
man, it's expectations were just I was blown away just by the fans were just kind of rabid and ready for live music, man. Nobody was really I thought people would have been a little more apprehensive just coming out of the pandemic, but man, people were just ready to go, which was good to see. And and as far as we released a video before our last co-headlining tour that we just did, and we have another video dropping release day tomorrow. So keep a lookout for that as well.
Awesome. So if I actually try to get this out around the same time then to coincide with that,
Exactly, yeah.
that'd be great. So are you touring any more for the year? Because I see on your website you're touring in January, like in like over, you know, in like Germany and to Italy, I think is the last date, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
So far.
That's the next thing we have confirmed that I can talk about. But yes, we're heading back to Europe January, February of next year. But until then, I'm sure we're going to be doing some stuff probably in the States before the end of the year. But we just kind of want to let this record kind of marinate, come out, and people get acquainted with the material. And then next year,
top secret. Sure. It's top secret. You're actually, you have a white background. You're in a safe house right now, so we don't want to ruin it for anybody. But just relocation,
a full-on touring assault like usual. But we just burned the States pretty hard the last few months, so we're just kind of letting this record come out, do its thing, and then we'll be back out in full force next year.
You have plans for like now, like when you tour, do you have a certain group of people you like to take with you? Because certain bands like to favor their friends, because you know one of the things people always say, and it's like it's important, like a band like yours to last a long time, whatever they say, you know, you really want to get people in a band that are good musicians, but you also want to get people that are really good people.
Yeah, exactly.
People can become better musicians, but if you're the best guitarist or you're the best whatever, and you're a jerk and you're in the bus for, you know what I mean? Well, you know, it's not cool. So to that point, obviously, if you guys being together, it works well. It shows that. But also, do you guys other bands too? Do you try kind of make it a family?
Oh yeah, man. It's pretty rare that we come across like another band that you know, we don't get along with, because we pretty much get along with everybody. Everybody's generally pretty cool. But I mean, and then when it comes to just interpersonally, us, you know, as a band together, we all get along, of course, and just you know, we're easygoing dudes, and so it makes it easy for touring. But then also just the like personnel that we bring on the road with us, like sound man, driver, merch person. Of course, you got to be good at what you do and professional, but you know, also you can't be a dick, you know what I mean? So it's, you know, but it's pretty rare that you run into any people like that.
Yeah. What's your favorite song on the new one?
Man,
today, what's your favorite one?
I'm gonna have to go with the closing track, man. I think that song's like the most special to me. It's a, you know, the little different for us, I guess, a little slower, but it's just got that epic feel, and especially it being just the closing track. I think it's the perfect note to end the record on, man. And I just have a soft spot for that song, definitely.
You've been you're actually the second drummer, right? And
yes.
Here's the question: how many people are still getting you confused because of the first name? Any of both drums, like especially other countries. Like to me, I'm like not gonna make the joke because I'm sure you get tired of it. But my question is, I'm like, you still must have people confused. I mean,
some people, most people that know, you know, they used to call me the new Zack, and then him, old Zack or whatever. But it's funny because you know, a lot of, you know, fans that we picked up along the way or whatever that aren't really familiar with the first two records that he was on, they kind of, you know, have a different starting point and may not know like the history. So it's kind of interesting, and like more old school fans, especially people from like New Orleans, know. But other people do. Yeah, they just kind of,
because you know, nowadays if we go online, you don't ever see like all the stuff either, because it's like streaming and stuff. You're not holding albums in your hand or cassettes and the inlays, and you know what I'm saying. It's not the same physical media as much. I mean, if you're into it like me, I have records and stuff, but you know, you gotta be that's a different thing. You're really into it. So when it happened, I was like, oh man, I can just imagine. The ad up, it's like, you know, must drummer needed, Zack drummer needed, you know, they have shirts already made or something. I'm like, come on, guys, more guys just gonna get it. Yeah, must be Zack. We all got shirts with our names on it, and Zack's shirt's here, so what we're gonna do? We're not gonna waste it.
I'm totally fine with being Zack number 2. It's cool, man. It's all right.
Very different Zack, that's all. It's pretty funny. Yeah, that's pretty cool. At this point though, are you guys going to like hold off and doing any more songwriting? Because I mean, at this point, obviously a lot of bands now are actually releasing stuff, but they're like in this creative mode. Or they just start to stockpile stuff again. And some people are like, you know what? I have to stop. My label wants me to stop. My manager wants me to stop. I'm out of control. And you're like, I can't stop.
We never stop, man. Actually, last week, Sammy sent a rough idea of a second new song, and that we'll be working on for the next one. And we already have all the stuff we didn't get around to finishing for this one too. So we got, it's never a shortage of ideas and material. And once we actually, really start buckling down and putting this stuff together, it'll kind of work like clockwork, but yeah, there's never a shortage of ideas and material. And we have we're getting a head start on the next one, and which is good, because I see that creative thing is like a muscle, if you just stop using it, it's harder to tap back into that mode.
And people have learned, like, you get to write these albums, and all of a sudden you're in a good songwriting mode, and then all of a sudden, like, a couple years later, you're like, I'm trying to get that mode to make an album, and you're trying to get that sound again. You're like, if you just recorded more songs when you were still writing them, you'd have already had the sound.
Yeah,
you would have had a couple already put aside. You would have been there. I agree. You got to work it a lot,
Yep.
Which is obviously a challenge. One of the questions I like to ask people off the top: what is it? Probably right now. What is your favorite go-to album?
Oh man, off the top of my head, I'm gonna have to say it's a record called "Strength" from the band Unto Others from Portland, and just catchy tunes, man. Almost kind of goth rocky, but classic heavy metal, rock and roll, and yeah, it's just one of those records that whatever mood I'm in, I'll throw it on and just enjoy it, man. It's
right.
And, good dudes too. We met them. They came out to our show in Portland not too long ago, and yeah, just kick-ass band.
Awesome. What is the go-to? I'm gonna say one last question. The go-to book for you?
Go-to book, man.
Well, because I like to really ask questions. The fans don't usually questions because you usually get the same stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So we're trying to mix up. The fans like to know a little more. I'll get questions like this. They like, oh no, like what,
Yeah. Shit. I guess most recently, what I've been reading. I think I was reading. Went back and picked up the. I've had the book for a long time, but the Lemmy autobiography.
Yeah, I read that. It's
and
good.
Also, currently, I'm reading. It's a collection of the Robert E. Howard Conan stories from the comic books. Kind of going through that again, and yeah, it's fun to revisit some books you haven't read in a while. And I love the Conan stories and the comics, and obviously the movies. And yeah, Conan's you can't fuck with Conan.
No, you can't. I'm actually because of the show, I gotta read. Obviously, I have to read a lot of books. I'm currently reading the Lunatics Fallopian Rhapsody.
Oh, okay.
It's it's got the best title of the book already. So you're like, well, this is gonna be, it's a lunatic, so it's gonna be a good book anyhow. It's good.
That's awesome, man. I'll have to check that out.
Hey, I want to thank you for being on the show. I want people to check you guys out. Watch out, there's gonna be a secret message coming out soon. Announcement. Be on the website, Facebook, right, the Instagram, so the media. It'll be out there for people to see. There's only one video out there. By the time we do this, there'll be a new video out. The album, what's the release? Is it release?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the whole release?
Midnight tonight, technically. It'll be on the Spotify and all that, but the release date is tomorrow, October 7th.
And for people who are like, how could he talk to me about the release date? I've already heard the album, so to me, it's already been released. So, and it's awesome.
This album's old news to me. So,
yeah, you had it so long already. You're like, I'm ready for a new one. So, all right, man, I want to thank you for being on the show. It's been awesome.
Thanks for having me, man. Good talking to you.
Thank you.